Hi, thanks for joining us. We're here at the Danville Public Library garden. If you have been to the library, come outside sometime. We can take walks, make sure you do your social distancing, but you can still come and enjoy the garden at the Danville Public Library. And we're going to show you some spring blooming flowers that you might see around town so you can identify some of them. So starting here, we have these little purple ones. These are grape hyacinths. They come up every year. They're a bulb. And beside them, these are Johnny Jump Ups. We actually planted those last fall, and those will overwinter. They're also called violas. They're really pretty. Look at their little faces. Back behind here, there's some iris coming up. These will be blooming in another month or so. So when you're thinking about your garden, make sure you plant things that will have successive blooms. Back over here, we have some fancy red tulips. They have some variegated leaves. They're special tulips, very beautiful. This you see around town, this is creeping phlox. So you'll see it purple, you'll see it pink, but this will make a beautiful ground cover. We've only had ours for a couple years, but it's blooming right now. And eventually it'll cover the whole area, and early in the spring, it'll be a beautiful carpet of flowers. This is some sedum ground cover. It's been here quite a while. It is good for hot and dry areas, and it will eventually cover the whole area. It'll be a nice ground cover, and it's getting buds on it. It'll have a pretty yellow bloom in another month or so. This is an herb that we planted last summer. It's a golden oregano. So sometimes you can put herbs in your garden as well. Oregano, thyme, all of those make nice ground covers and will usually bloom. At least thyme will have a pretty purple bloom later when it warms up. This is another spring blooming flower that will make a little ground cover. This is golden alyssum. It is a perennial, comes back every year. It gets a little bit bigger every year, and it's very beautiful. We have some more fancy tulips back here, some more red. These have leaves that are wavy. This one is going to have some yellow on it. Tulips bloom a little later. We had some hyacinths over here that have already bloomed, and they're kind of on the downturn. And then some more little fancy, smaller tulips that are going to be blooming another week when it warms up. They will be opening, and they're really pretty, and they have little yellow edges. And they're going to be a smaller bloom on those. These are going to be bigger. These are going to be parrot tulips when they bloom, and they'll be red also. So another ground cover that blooms early is this vinca or periwinkle. It's a pretty blue color, and it also will cover the ground, make a nice carpet. You have to keep that trimmed back. Sometimes it'll run wild in your garden. We have some little daffodils that were blooming. They usually bloom earlier. That one is multi bloom, but it's very beautiful, very different. Here's a little white one, narcissus. These will bloom early, so as you can see, a lot of these have already bloomed and are dying back. So as I said before, a succession of bloom adds a lot to your garden. Here's some more fun little tulips. This one too is the red with the yellow on the edges. Very pretty and fancy. So this is a perennial columbine that's coming up. It'll be blooming in another month or so. It'll come back every year, it'll reseed itself, so that means that you'll have more and more plants every year. In the garden here, last fall we had the kids out here and we planted some carrots, so these are the carrot tops coming up. In the summertime we have a kids garden club and the kids will come out here and pull up those carrots and just have a great time. Back over in this next bed, last summer we just threw out some asparagus seeds. We weren't sure if, I've heard asparagus could start from seed, but wasn't really quite sure, but lo and behold, we have some asparagus coming up from seed. And one big one, he must have been there for a while. Then we have a bunch of little smaller ones coming up. This in here is some dill. Dill will self-sow in the summertime. When we have the kids out here, the swallowtail caterpillars will be on the dill. They love dill. And then we'll have some swallowtail butterflies. So this is a little Swiss chard that survived the winter. It's called Bright Light Swiss chard. It likes cool season. So when it warms up, it will flower and die back. But for now, it's blooming nicely. This is some chamomile. We grow a lot of chamomile and dry it and have chamomile tea. Chamomile will reseed itself. That's what happened with this. We planted it last year, but it's coming up all over in this raised bed and over there. That's all chamomile. So you'll have lots of tea, and the bees love chamomile. In this next raised bed, another herb that likes to multiply, that bees like and people like, is lemon balm. So if you're not exactly sure, you can tell it, smell it. Oh yeah, definitely lemon. And you can see the lemon balm coming up in this bed. And then there's some more chamomile coming up. And this is a little onion plant. If you're not sure, you can smell it, and you can definitely smell the onion on that too. So that's our garden at the Danville Public Library. We have lots of spring blooming flowers and plants coming up. Hope you can come down and take a tour of our garden. And even though our building is closed, you can access the library digitally 24/7. We have books and movies and music to listen to. We're on Facebook and Twitter, so please get online, and we're open 24/7.